Okay, so you did like him and things were going, nicely. But now maybe something has happened that has put you off him. Or if we're going to be real and blunt about it, maybe you met someone else who you like a little bit more. And you feel guilty because you want to end things with the current guy. At the same time, you don't want it to come across that you've been leading him on. You just had a change of heart. And the thing is, this doesn't even necessarily mean that you don't like who he is. He's just not the one that you want to choose. Well, I'm going to show you how to cut off and end things with a guy that you're dating with as minimum damage as possible. Before we jump into that, I am having one-to-one sessions. So if you want to level up your dating life today, just click that link below. So first thing to do is to be honest. This doesn't mean you have to dish out every single detail of why you're no longer interested. He doesn't need to know there's someone else if that is the case. You can save his feelings a bit, but you absolutely have to be honest to him that you're not feeling it anymore. The worst thing you can do is to lead someone on and pretend to care. Nobody wants to be taken for a fool. And the thing is, he would much rather appreciate you doing this than you just trying to fade him out. That's the cowardly way out. Because remember that guy who slowly stopped talking to you, who you really liked and you had no idea why? That was all you wanted to know? Why? Was it something you did? Did he meet someone else? Is the door still open? Wouldn't you have just much rather that he just told you that he doesn't really like you that much so you could put that to bed and just move on? So doing that here is really going to put you in a good light. Yes, it takes some courage, but it's worth it. For you. Second thing, timing is important. Even if it may be hard, you should try to be as prompt as possible if you know that you don't want things moving forward. Trying to put it off or avoiding the situation is just going to make it worse for both of you, but especially for you. Now, if you just spent a day with him, or let's say you just spent the night with him, here's what I suggest. Say to him that you're having a bit of a phone or social media detox, so you're not going to be responding for a few days. And this help gets him adjust to not speaking to you regularly if that's what you guys are used to. Then after it's been a few days, that's when you communicate to him that you don't have the same feelings anymore. And if you're struggling as to what to message, here's what you can say. Hey, after having some time for myself, I realized that this isn't for me. You've not done anything wrong, I just don't feel it's the right match. It's been nice getting to know you and I really appreciate all the effort you've made with me, smiley face. And saying something like this leads straight to my next point, which is to be specific. Not about why you're ending things, but that you are ending things. Don't be vague. Sometimes to avoid feeling bad, we can give someone false hope so it's less painful. Saying like, oh, I'm just not ready yet, or something like, oh, I just go at a really slow pace at the moment. You're doing none of that. You don't want to make any false promises that may actually lead him to think that there's still a chance with you. Or worse, give him any expectations of you. Because if he does expect something later down the line, and then if he somehow gets wind that you're seeing someone else, that puts you in a really bad light and that makes him start to foster some resentment towards you. And that's not the kind of energy you want in your life. This is a time to be firm and non-negotiable with your decision. Because if he does really like you, then he may try and fight for you, which is always a nice feeling. But it's really important not to get seduced by this new wave of effort that you're getting from him. Otherwise, you'll find yourself back at square one. Next thing to do is to just be polite. Even if it's hard, being polite is going to go a long way. Just because the situationship is over, that doesn't mean that you can't be kind about it, especially if he really likes you. Try and use language that is direct yet respectful, even if it's hard for you to say. And his final thing to do that is really going to help you put yourself in good books with him, even though you're technically rejecting him, is give closure. Even if a relationship never comes into fruition and it doesn't last forever, giving closure is a true act of kindness for the other person. Because if we're being honest, by the time you've come to the decision to end things, you've already made your peace with it. You've probably had your own closure. But remember, he hasn't yet. So doing this acknowledges that things haven't worked out, but it allows him the space to adjust. And he'll really appreciate that from you. Are you in a situation that you're trying to get out of? Are you going to use any of these ways to do it? If you're looking for a guy who spikes up your love life, make sure you subscribe to this wonderful tribe. And as always, keep it slick.